Good morning, John.
Morning, Brian.
You're going to talk to us about the Green Agenda.
That's right, because we didn't have too much of the Green Agenda until this new government came into being, made up of Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and the Green Party, who had no members of the Irish Parliament, TDs as they call them. For the previous governments, but they gained 12 seats in the last election because the people were not so much green, but they wanted to vote for anybody other than Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, and they lost seats, and if it wasn't for the 12 seats that the Green Party got, they wouldn't be able to form a government. But they're a government of different parts, shall we say. So the Green Agenda would be coming mostly from the Green Party in the Dáil and the government. Now, and also, of course, coming from the EU, who it's not the elected members, it's the Commission, a bureaucratic body. It's not elected but appointed, and actually do all the ordering of what's required, what countries should do, and then imposing quantities of asylum seekers and people from other countries on Ireland and other countries that are in the EU. Hungary and Poland are only taking refugees that are Catholics and Christians, and rightly so. But here, I'm not aware that they've taken any Christians. I think it's mostly Muslims, but there could be now some Christians from the war in that Russia has inflicted on Ukraine. We've a lot of people from Ukraine that had to flee the country because of the attack by Russia on a small country and inflicting terrible harm and damage to the infrastructure. If they're so anxious to take over Ukraine, there's an awful lot of destruction done. So what's the point of destroying a country if you intend to take it over? It doesn't make sense to my way of thinking, but be that as it may, we have a lot of these people from that country. And I believe in some cases, Irish people that are homeless and have accommodation are being, somebody says, that's been put out for all these refugees that are coming. And now we have another good influx of refugees from other countries. Now, it's the Green Agenda. So the first thing nearly that they did was to stop the board and ammonia tough briquettes, which were often used by many homes because they're easy to light, and they last longer than the ordinary turf. Because when I was young, my father must have been given a bit of a bog, and we used to help him save the turf, and we had turf for the whole winter. So that fuel was used, and there was no talk about green, this, that and the other, the Green Agenda in my time. This is a relatively recent thing, and the first thing one knew about it was when they had a couple of representatives in the Dáil there some years ago, was about carbon footprints. So these are sort of carbon footprints that I never heard anything about, and I didn't even like the sound of it, because when you're going about your business, the last thing you want to worry about is carbon footprints. I mean, the dinosaurs and all these are gone, so surely to God we're not contributing to the blinking whatever they were worried about. And so the Green Agenda then is focusing on, shall we say, it's focusing on farmers and the production of what they call fossil fuels. Now, I presume fossil fuels, not many people would know what fossil fuels What do you know, Brian, about fossil? What's fossil fuels? Is it coal and turf and stuff like that?
Yeah, coal and
is
turf.
Is it even oil?
It's oil, everything, anything that has been, say, like vegetation and matter that has rotted down thousands of years ago and has either changed into turf, coal, or oil, anything like that that's taken out of the ground, basically, that has carbon locked into it from thousands of years ago, millions of years ago, and it's now been released into the atmosphere. That's the problem.
Well, apparently, in any event, I don't think there's any problem because in this country particularly, I've been from, we'll say, the tip end of Donegal to the tip end of Cork in the past year and even before. And I've yet to see factories belching out chimneys, belching out smoke. In other words, the country looks as clean a country as you could wish to see. Not unlike other countries where there's a lot of factories belching out smoke. Well, all I'm saying is that, just about what I'm saying, that as far as I'm concerned, there is little or no whatever they're talking about here. Turf is now being brought in from Romania, which is in the EU, and one or two other ones, and of course the price has increased. So the briquettes are still available, but they're imported now, so your balance of payments is gone. We import a lot of stuff that we could produce here, but part of the reason for that is the supermarkets import a lot of their food when we used to produce a lot of food that is not now produced here as was. Vegetables and all the rest of it, and potatoes, and that they were stocked in the independent family stores. The supermarkets, they need plastic and need a standardised affair on which there's very little taste from. Nothing like the Irish apples that was grown here and all the fruit that we had. I have great memories of the fruit. So here we are about this green energy, the green agenda. Now, why, when they're talking about this, what is preventing them? Because I've yet to hear anything about the plastic mountain, which is where the pollution is coming from, in rivers and sea, and the sea as well. The plastic mountain as a result of the supermarket monopoly. Now, it's a strange thing. They attack ordinary farmers and people like that, and households. New houses now have no fireplace, so I presume you're looking at a wall. You have nothing, no focus, a fireplace with a fire burning is often a nice sight in the winter time especially. So they've interfered with the production of products. Any country where they've embraced this green energy have suffered a lack of production of food, and with the result people are starving. And this is why you've had riots in some countries like Sri Lanka and these places, because they embrace this because they expect to benefit from it. But the production has gone down of basic food items, and this is where the riots came. So likewise there was other countries, and I'm not going to mention them, but anyone that has embraced this has suffered. And I have a feeling here we'll be the same, because they're embracing it as if it's the answer to whatever it is that they're worried about. Now, it's not a good thing to do, to my way of thinking. The farmers used to have manure, which was often very useful for when we even had potatoes and cabbages and peas and all the rest of it in our garden when I was growing up in Boyle, County Roscommon. And so And now nobody has that kind of thing, and farmers not even growing the vegetables and the fruit that they used to grow and supply the local family stores. They can't do business with the multiples because they want standardised packs and plastic. So this is where the problem is in my book, the plastic mountain. But they say nothing about that. So I'm surprised that they're not saying anything about it. And so the farmers, with the slurry that they spread, the smell, that is want to be make sure that it's not going into the rivers and then where the fish, because we had great fish in rivers now and they've been affected by pollution, especially from people that breed pigs, pig breeders and people like that. So they need to have something that would deal with it without it going into the rivers. So these are the sort of things that farmers could do, but apparently they're about 30% and they're expecting them to get rid of cattle. Well, I mean, meat is an important ingredient for your diet. You can't be a vegetarian. And some people are now vegetarians because they're suffering from this anxiety about the blinking climate, or else they think that being a vegetarian is good for this, that and the other, and really they often look very pasty-faced as a result of not having a balanced diet. You have to have a balanced diet, and you can't just do what this green crowd are putting forward, and the EU as well. So I think it's overdone in this country because it's a very good country in many ways from the point of view of the climate that we have. We have more rain than we could do with, but look at the green grass everywhere. Great for the cattle and for the sheep. Not too many ones with goats, but some of them have goats. So it's a great country for that type of thing. And the best of food can be grown here, and I hope that comes to pass, because now with the price of petrol and diesel, prices are going up in supermarkets. So all this, what would I call it, climate, it's affecting these things, affecting supply and demand. I notice a lot of stuff has gone sky high. Milk, there was $1.49 in the supermarkets that I shop in, which is Super Value, which is owned by individuals, and though it's a symbol and it's quite successful, owned by individuals, and their milk has gone from $1.49, and sometimes they're a bit cheaper, up to over €2. So that's even a basic one, and I presume sugar will go up because we had sugar. We produce sugar in this country from beet and best of sugar. But then I think the EU must have had something to do with it, because suddenly all these sugar factories were closed, putting a lot of people unemployed, and farmers not growing the beet that they were growing and supplying the sugar factories. So perhaps this is the green energy too, for our green agenda, for all I know. But we need production in this country, and we need food production, and we haven't got enough of it. But I think we would need it now, because now suddenly there's a shortage of wheat because of the war in Ukraine. They apparently supplied a lot of the world's wheat. We never know all these things until suddenly they're not available. And so farmers now are being encouraged to try and grow wheat, so as we won't have sky-high prices for bread. So this is the green agenda, and John Malone, irrespective of what other people think, is not in favour of that being implemented so harshly. But I hope that wiser councils prevail, and that they deal with it in a sensible way for the good of ordinary people, and not be putting such expense on them because of their policies. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.